If Pumpkinhead made love to the Blair Witch Project, out would pop this little baby. Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome to episode 61 here on my random horror review series. I am your host Mood616 and thank you once again for stopping in, guys. Yeah, episode 61 is here and I've got one here from Brain Damage Films. And man, right when I saw the cover art for this film, it had me very intrigued. I think the cover art is fantastic, and with a name like this, it can kind of go either way. You kind of know what you're getting yourself into a little bit. I didn't have any prior knowledge of this film. I believe this was a production in 2015. Came out on home media here in 2016. And it is called The Doom's Chapel Horror. Now, I really like that cover art. I think it's kind of simple, but it's cool. It's effective, so that's pretty cool. But getting into the synopsis of this one. Basically, this one centers around your main character, Kyle Cole. Now, Kyle is just decided that he's going to do a documentary about his life, about his prior experiences. Now, what happened to Kyle back in the day is that he got blamed for his brother's death. His brother's death was an accident, but unfortunately the whole town and his family blamed him for his brother's unfortunate death. The thing is with his brother is that his brother was the All-American, starting high school quarterback for the football team and things like that. And everyone just loved him. So what happens is basically is that the town and the family kind of ostracized him, and he kind of, just went and lived with his auntie in the big city. Now it's 11 years later, and again, he's decided to make this documentary about his life. So he goes back to the town where immediately he is not welcomed at all. He runs into some folk from years past, and they're just not welcoming him at all. And some certain things happen to him and things like that. And of course he runs into this guy named Samuel. Now Samuel is kind of like the right-hand man for this cult leader named Jordan. Now Jordan is a very scary guy. And, I guess what had happened prior to Kyle being ostracized and going to live in the big city is that Kyle had actually went to Jordan and he had asked him to, exact some revenge against some guys that had done Kyle wrong. But the thing was, Kyle left before Jordan had a chance to do this revenge, and, he was, of course, gone for 11 years. And now that he's back, Jordan is really pissed because he didn't get a chance to do that, and he feels like he kind of wronged him. And oddly enough, the same people that he wanted to get the revenge upon are getting picked off one by one in mysterious ways. And, Jordan's saying that it's not him, things like that. And now Kyle wants to get to the bottom of this because he's kind of getting blamed for it a little bit. And he just really wants to know what the hell is going on. So, and kind of, save his name. And, that's the whole synopsis of the film right there. Now, my thoughts on this one. Like I said prior to this review in the intro, basically if you took Pumpkinhead and it kind of mated with the Blair Witch Project, you got this film right here. And what do I mean by that? This one essentially, without saying too much, kind of is a creature feature. It's like a revenge creature feature type deal in a way. Very interesting film. Now, I'll get to the story. Now, I was really impressed by, this being a super low budget indie type film, with the development of the characters in this film. Now, Kyle is a character that you want to feel very sympathetic for, and you do feel sympathetic for him, but they really develop his character nice. They give a lot of backstory with his brother and his family and certain other characters like his best friend and some of the guys. They even explain what, this group of guys had done to Kyle and which made him want to get some revenge against them and stuff. So they kind of developed this throughout the whole hour. The weird thing is in the first hour, there is a bunch of kills, but they're all off screen. You don't really know what happens, but you have to pay attention to the dialogue because, they say certain things like, well, we were over here and we heard some loud kind of grunting and we heard noises in the bush and stuff like that. So you kind of get you get the notion that this is, there's maybe a creature out there of some sort. But yeah, really, really well done script. I was really impressed with, I guess the pacing isn't like the fastest thing in the world, but once the action kind of picks up in the third act, I think you respect the first hour of the film a lot more because it does develop actually quite nice. the acting in the film, not too bad. It's a little bit hit and miss. It's an indie film, so you're going to get a little bit of hit and miss acting. I think Kyle does a good job in the lead. His girlfriend, Mandy, she's a little weak at times. His best friend, which his name escapes right now, but he does a pretty good job among characters. I think the guy that really steals the show in this one is a guy named Bill Obersit Jr. He actually plays a cult leader in Children of Sorrow also. When they showed his face in this, I was like, damn, that guy played a cult leader already in a film, and he did a fantastic job in that film, which I didn't really care for, but he did a good job. But he's menacing, he's evil, he's awesome in this film. I think he does a really good job, he's believable, which really does sell it. To the found footage aspect of the film, yes, it's done documentary style. It's not very jarring. There isn't a lot of like crazy camera work and stuff until you get to about the third act, where, you know, some people might find it a little bit, little jarring at times to watch because, you know, all you want to do is see the creature. But unfortunately, you know, I think they do a good job of not really showing the creature a whole lot. I think a little less here actually equals more. It's pretty cool. Like I said, you know, leading up to this, the body count's not that high. Third act goes bonkers. You know, a lot of people end up getting, you know, hammered on pretty good. Some pretty good blood and gore in this, you know, for a low budget flick and stuff. But all around, not a bad film. I didn't really know what to expect with this kind of going into it. And I started thinking about it. I'm like, wow, you know, that whole Pumpkinhead angle, revenge with the Blair Witch, I think that's kind of an interesting combination that actually does work effectively here. And ultimately delivers in the end. It has a pretty cool ending. I really enjoyed the ending, which is fantastic. It doesn't leave you going, oh, really? And honestly, I think a sequel might actually benefit this story a lot, because I think they can actually even develop it even more, which is very cool. It doesn't really happen a whole lot. We're like, yeah, I could see a sequel actually developing this more if it's done properly. And yeah. So kind of a cool film, man. I was really impressed with a lot of specs in this. And I will say the effects in this film, all practical. Nothing CG. From what I saw, there might have been a tad bit, but it was super quick and done well that you didn't really notice. But yeah, the effects all practical. Like I said, some pretty good guts, some gore. And the creature feature was practical, so that was kind of cool in itself. But you're going to have to check it out to see it for yourself. So if I have to rate the Dooms Chapel Horror, I'm going to give this one about a 7.5 out of 10. I think it's a quality film. You know, it's not a perfect film. Like I said, that some of the acting is a little bit shoddy. Another aspect of this film I really did enjoy was the locations that they shot at, because this is supposed to be in a small kind of, I want to say southern town or something like that. And it really does look like that. It feels like a small town. You know, there's one scene where they're kind of driving to this dude's house, and you can see like all these trucks, these broken down old rusty trucks and tractors and other machinery and stuff around. And it just really does capture that small town feel quite well. And a lot of the characters do play their parts well, like Samuel, the right-hand man to Jordan. He's this like really menacing, just total dirtbag type, redneck, I don't give a fuck type character that really does work for the film. But yeah, there's a really good, you know, there's a good contrast between the hard evil characters and the sympathetic ones, and I think it works effectively. It's really good. The whole cult thing is very mysterious and interesting in itself too, and it doesn't kind of overbore itself. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't go too much into you know, Kyle's relationship with his girlfriend and stuff, and like that, the way they played all those angles and stuff works really well. But more stuff you have to check out for yourself. I'm just rambling on here. The Dooms Chapel Horror. Check this out. I think it's really, really well done. It's a really cool film. So that is going to do it for episode 61 here on my random horror review series. Hope you guys enjoyed that review. And do yourself a favor, check it out. It might not be for everybody, especially if you don't like the found footage angle. But you know what? Just, it's not really the worst thing in the world. Pretty cool stuff. So check you guys in episode 62. Peace!